All right, so good evening, everyone. Jose J. Garcia, real estate investor, coach, and mentor. Another Sunday coaching series continues until further notice. We're going to keep these things going. We are going to start getting into land packages, though. Also, real estate, land, yes, whether it has a mobile home or not, as long as it is zoned. And some of these mobile homes that we're seeing on land also have a house. So you got a whole mixture happening. You have a house, you have a mobile home. Is the mobile home part of the land, part of the deed, or is it still titled? So many things to cover. So expect that in the near future as well. We got mobile home parks. As a matter of fact, we got two under contract right now. So we're off to a great start of the year, no doubt. You know, mobile home parks are one of those that we've been pushing hard for a while. Last year, we wholesaled four mobile home parks. One of them I wish we would have kept. I keep saying that because it was such a great deal. But at the time, I was more focused on coaching. So, live and learn. It is what it is. But no regrets on that. I mean, coaching is great. I love giving back and I love meeting new people, new investors, the network, the traveling. I mean, so many things that come hand in hand. So, sometimes the deal you do not get was not supposed to be meant for you. I see that as well. So, but this year we are pushing hard for mobile home parks. We did shift a little bit from the sizes that we're looking for. It is definitely to get the mobile home parks, it is a lot more competitive, no doubt. And I mean, when you have some massive companies transitioning from real estate into now mobile home parks, you can obviously see where the competition is rising. But that does not mean that there are no opportunities out there. I used to be very against any mobile home park under 30 pads, 40 pads, maybe. I wanted 50 pads, 60 pads, but it's all how you see the numbers. And that's part of, I think, the issue that we're running into is that a lot of these mom and pop parks or just smaller parks overall, 10 pads, 20 pads, 15 pads, we were not looking at them as much as we should have had done in the past. And of course, they've all been picked up at this point. But the way it was put together was get 2, 3 parks and equal the same amount of pads if they are in the same areas per se. So again, it's all about looking at the numbers. And when I talk about 50 pads, 60 pads, 70, 80, and 100 pads, that's where the competition is more about. A lot of these big franchises, big companies, they don't want the smaller parks because they don't see it the way we're seeing it in the sense of numbers. So again, those are opportunities for us. But that being said, that's what we're looking for. The 2 parks that we just put under contract, it's a total of 26 pads, both parks together. They're only about less than 10 miles away, about 10 minutes apart from each other. So that's kind of what we're talking about. There is one additional part not too far from there, which would definitely be a killer. Different sellers, of course, different sellers on that. But if we could get those additional 15 pads, now you're into closer to the 40 pads. So that's what you're looking for. You can use one manager, you can use one contractor, you can use one crew of everything. It simplifies it and make it easy. And you could put them together and create a portfolio. So, again, we'll get into a lot more into that. A lot of you come to me through LinkedIn and talk more about parks. It's plenty fine. Mobile homes is our specialty, is where we focus a lot more because of so many exit strategies. We never push away parks, lands. Definitely we got 2 pieces of land that we're looking onto as well. And we got a lot of mobile homes we are moving. So North Georgia, if any of you know any investors up there, we currently have 7 and about 5 more coming available as well. So again, staying up to date on so many of that. But tonight's coaching, what I wanted to cover is your next investment. Now, the reason I want to cover this is, and I'm going to turn the camera for Instagram here in a minute backwards to see our spreadsheet, is I want to break down one of the mobile homes real quick. Just kind of show you what I would look for if I was looking for my next investment. Okay. Now, some of you, if you're new for the first time joining us, thank you and welcome. Then you can, this is what you would look for if it was your first deal. Okay. So let me go ahead and see if I can get bear with me 1 second. I had a coaching the other night on Zoom for the first time. It's been a while. I was almost a little confused by it. Of course, Zoom is always changing things, but I don't miss it. I'll say that. Zoom and I are not the best of friends. Let me see, sharing screen. And if you have any questions, don't forget you can put them on the chat box on here. I will check them out here in a few minutes as well. But the reason I want to show you this one is because it's not so much just the physical side of the rehab investing, but you do need to focus on that. And I'm going to talk about a little bit of materials real quick. Give me one. Let me see. Where is the share? Here we go. No, I lost Instagram. There we go. Share. So this specific mobile home, I'm not even going to tell you where it's at. And I'll tell you why, because I want to break out these numbers first, and then I want to show you what I'm looking for. When somebody calls me about a mobile home, I'll have a single wide, a double wide, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm not really listening just yet, because one of the things is I want to know where the city and the state Where is it that you're calling me from? Because I want to find out what the market is. If you are on our pitching call, what was it, 2 Sundays ago, where we were talking about how to pitch to investors, it's the same way. The product is the same. It does not matter where we go to, north, south, east, anywhere in the USA, mobile home is a mobile home. The only thing changes on a mobile home is the size and the wind zone in it. Some are more durable, depends on where they're at, aka down by the beach, maybe, wind zone twos, wind zone threes. Talk about that on another coaching. But it's the market. It's the market that I am intrigued by, because I want to know what the exit strategies that I can do. Too many times investors get into this niche, this game, this market, call it whatever you want, and they're like, I'm going to buy this mobile home, and yeah, I'm going to rehab it. And that's about as far as they go. And they go on and rehab it. After they rehab, they come back and say, well, I think I'm going to rent it, or I'm going to do a rent to own, maybe offer financing, maybe I'll go ahead and flip it. And then they're crushed by the idea that they see the numbers. Okay. You do not dictate the exit strategy you want to do with the mobile home. The markets do. And here's what I mean by that. What is the lot rate? What is the rental rates? What are ARVs, after repair value? If I come into this property here and I take this mobile home and I make it beautiful, and this one doesn't need a whole lot, but we will break it down here in a minute. What can I sell the same mobile home in the same area, in the same community, after repair value, meaning move-in ready? So you have to come in and get all these comps, get all these numbers together. Once I have all those numbers put together, then I know, okay, I can actually do a flip here. I could do wholesale. I could do Airbnb maybe. I could do Section 8. All those things are yet to be determined, but I know what my options are. Okay, then now I'm ready to hear about the mobile home. All right, now tell me what you got. It's a Fleetwood, awesome. It's a Horton, even better. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, is what it is. I know how to break those down. Now, obviously, different cities, different states, the numbers do go up. But I'll remind y'all, right now is not only the best time to invest in mobile homes, but the prices on material are insane. Don't believe what I'm saying. I want y'all to all, after this call, log into Lowe's.com, HomeDepot.com, any other home improvement store, and look at what the material is going for. Most of the material today is cheaper. Yes, cheaper than when I first got started 7 years ago. It is insane. Just to think, just what was it, about a year ago, we were paying almost $100 per plywood sheet. Today, you can find them for $15, $20 or even less. So it is insane. And that just urges to get into mobile home investing when you can. It is the best time. It is the peak time of cash sales. It's a no-brainer. Let's break down this mobile home. So I know what the lot rent number is. I know what the rental rates is. I obviously know that, hey, if the rental rate is 300 and the rental rates are 900, that's a pretty good spread, right? Now, if you're a landlord, obviously you have to keep in mind, well, if something breaks, if the toilet doesn't flush, and it will happen. I've always said houses break, mobile homes break just a little bit more. You are a landlord and it is a rental. Don't forget it. It's always the mentality as well. Most people, when they rent, they have this, I don't really care, because it's a rental. Okay, which is one reason why I shift over into a lease option or rent to own and get a hefty down payment. Now I not only have somebody that's buying it, which means that obviously it's going to be theirs, but it's also no responsibility to me because I'm not a landlord. But they also have that mentality of, I better take care of it because it's going to be mine. And that's a whole different mentality. All right. So this one here, this would be my favorites. It's pitch roof, metal on metal, meaning that the top is roof is metal. The siding is metal. Obviously the skirting, that's plastic, but that's not technically part of the mobile home. We can replace that. Okay. So the reason I like metal on metal is, number one of the biggest expenses that can be is replacing a roof. If I have to replace a roof on a shingle, you're talking 2,000-3,000. Does not matter that it's not a stick built. It's the material, the labor, and everything that goes with it. Imagine replacing a brand new roof on a shingle mobile home. 2-3K, that's out of budget pretty quickly. I mean, you got to think nothing else is wrong with it, which is not the case. But again, budget your numbers and put those together. If it makes sense, have at it. Personally, on this one here, being that it's metal on metal, if there is a leak, it is as simple as pressure washing the top and resealing it. I'm talking about maybe a $500 job and does include the material and the labor. A lot better off, right? So you see why I like metal on metal. Sides, they can be painted. We've actually, I have had 2 different contractors, one spray the outside of a mobile home and one roll the outside of a mobile home. And if you're wondering, yes, we use exterior paint, of course. You got to use that. I could not tell the difference. I could not tell who sprayed it and who rolled it. I mean, it both look great. And again, it's because of the material. Metal just paints easy. Okay, so let me keep on moving. I'm not going to get too specific. Look, I'm giving you a breakdown of nothing more. And stay till towards the end. I do have a couple announcements, but I'm going to zoom in on this here. So think of everything. And you know what? This is going to help you a lot also if you are thinking about hiring a contractor, handyman. You can't trust them. I'm going to just flat out come on and say you cannot trust the contractor or handyman. If you do get one in the area, you should always get 2 or 3 quotes and then see obviously who's more in what ballpark. If you got 2 guys saying I can replace or do a rehab inside of a mobile home for 2 or 3,000, and guy number 3 says it's 10,000, you might want to question what's going on or something like that. Okay, but flooring in this section. So this is actually particle wood in this section here. It's not even wood. Particle is just cardboard. Terrible. I hate that stuff. So that would have to be replaced. You can see some sections already damaged. But as you can see again, one plywood of sheet, half of it would go twice on here. You're talking maybe 2 pieces of plywood sheet, $40, $50. Is that still in budget? I hope so. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Bathroom. Some of that is still particle in that room. And I mean, as far as the walls, you can paint something like that. That's more by choice. I don't mind painting every wall in a room, in a house, especially the ceiling, just because it gives it that brand new look. Like it's cleaner, it opens up, but it's got to be within budget. So, if it's not broken, I typically say don't fix it kind of thing. Vinyl is obviously needed. It looks like it's been tore already in there. So something you would replace. Log into the store.com again and look at the sizes. Now, that's why it's so important also that you know what the measurements are of a mobile home. Now, I'm not just talking about what is the size of a mobile home. It's a 14 by 70, it's a 16 by 80, it's a 24 by 60. That's great. That's the full entail square footage of the actual house. That doesn't tell me how big a room is. You see, so I would want to make sure that I come in and measure a room, 10 by 12, 10 by 14. It just depends. Measure that out. And then, this is how much material I need. Okay. So these are the things I'm looking for. And this is a lot of this is cosmetic. I mean, the flooring is definitely something that's needed. It's a little hard to see on here, but you can see some of that is plywood and some of that is particle. I don't like that. I don't do this right here. I mean, if you're going to replace something, you replace it right the first time and avoid problems down the road. Problems don't get better after time. So even if this particle board here looks sturdy, strong, I would say by the time you cut all these sections and work around it, 3, 4 pieces of plywood, replace it, and you're done. You got a brand new floor and something that you can advertise if you're selling. All brand new flooring, all brand. You see what those are selling points. Okay, move on to the next one. Troubles. Now this is where we get interesting. But again, I'm not seeing anything that we have not seen on the something like this. Obviously, what you see here is it's already been removed. The plywood's off top, which probably was particle. It probably just caved in inside this mobile home. And what you're seeing is the insulation. And that's what happens with the particle and why I highly dislike it. It's like a sponge. If you wet this thing, if moisture gets to it, I mean, it absorbs it, it thickens up, and it breaks apart. What it's even more interesting is a lot of this particle board is used right around the showers, right around the sinks, right around the washer dryer. It's like they wanted the leak on it. So, vinyl will cover it for so long, but I'm not a fan of particle. If you're going to replace the floor, get rid of it and start over. Now, one of the things I'm looking on here as well, and in case you haven't been paying attention, is remember top to bottom. And we teach you this at the shadow, which we'll talk about at the end. But if you look at the top, like I mentioned, the roofs, now you get onto the inside. Maybe it's leaking up there somewhere. It looks a little rusty. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. But as soon as you walk into the mobile home, I'll be able to look into the ceilings. Does it look like there's any leaks in here? I don't see any. What about the hallway? I don't see any. Living room. I don't see any. So you see, these are the things that I'm paying attention to because remember, the 3 most expensive things to rehab inside of a mobile home are the roof, the electrical, and the plumbing. Now, when I say electrical and plumbing, I am referring to if I have to replumb the entire mobile home, if I have to put all new electric, maybe the previous resident, they came in and tore the cables out, etc. That's an issue. New contractors, electricians don't like to come in and say, let me just piece everything back together and hope it works. Typically, you get the response of, I'm going to have to rewire the entire thing. So that's kind of where we're at. Now you're talking 2, 3, even 4,000. Just depends on the size of the mobile home and all the work that is needed. All right. I'm going to keep going. So here are closer. This is the other bathroom. Nothing wrong with this one here. I know the picture here looks a little blurry on the screen, but nothing that I see on here wrong. I mean, the vanity is obviously outdated, but things like that, I'm not so focused on that. I'm here to fix what's broken, make it livable, make it presentable, and put it on the market. I don't shave corners and I don't do things cheap. But again, think about everything as numbers and budget. May I remind you, I've said that a couple times on here. You have to have a budget. I'll just go with it, and hopefully we can stay within certain numbers. Business is not about hoping. So I hope that's not how you're going about it. So here is the main section on the flooring, and that's obviously where the particle board has caved in. Nothing that I see anything wrong with these 2x4s, 2x6s. If you need to sturdy that up some more, by all means, perfect time, right? Maybe put some across. I don't know if you can see my mouse. Probably put some across right here, just kind of make it a little more sturdy. But this is how the mobile home is built. From factory, this is the way it comes in. These 2x4s on the walls, you typically have 2x3s, not 2x4s. If you do need to replace some, you can go with 2x4s and just kind of upgrade to that. In case you're wondering why they do something like that, by the way, it's that has to do with the weight. Yes, the weight of the mobile home. If they shave an inch of every 2x4 and make it into a 2x3, it saves some weight so that they can transport like it should. All right. Next picture, same thing from same angle. So this mobile home, let's say that it was sent to us and we're looking at it. So we're obviously taking a peek. Now I'm obviously still going to want boots on the ground. And I want somebody to go out there and check it out because I want to make sure that other things are not, people send you pictures they want you to see. Well, let me mention that. They'll send you pictures they want you to see, but there's a lot of things that many times are missed. You don't want to miss that. So I'm going to still get boots on the ground. But from what I'm seeing, I mean, if I had to calculate X amount of work and rehab on here, can I come up with the number? Yes, you can. Because I just told you, even if you had to replace this entire room, and yes, this is all particle, you see all these stains on here? I assure you, this being particle board, it is not sturdy. I will not suggest you walk or even step into this room. But so let's say we have to replace this entire room. If you take the measurements from this wall to this wall and side to side, you get X amount of size square footage. How many pieces of plywood do I need to replace on here? Here's plywood number one. Here's plywood number two. Now, clearly, I'm being strategic here, but you got to go off measurements. I would say 4 or 5 pieces of plywood is all you need. So for me to come in here into this one bedroom alone and replace this flooring, and obviously we're going to put either carpet or preferably, hopefully you go with vinyl and avoid carpet. That's just my choice, by the way. Then how much am I looking on that? I'm looking at about $100 to $200 worth of lumber and probably another $100 worth of vinyl. So that's about a $300 worth of material. Now, do you not want to know the stuff for whenever a contractor comes in and says, hey, I'll go get the material myself, but you're looking at about $800 worth of material. Now, you can question them. Well, I don't see how you're seeing 800. Explain that to me. Because when I was sitting here measuring and I went on Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever home improvement store, it says that every piece of plywood is about $20. So if I'm needing 4 or 5, that's simple math. 4 times 5, you do those. And I don't want to get into the contractor thing right now, but it's always, I love having an eye opener contractor moment when they're like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's good to know. So you got to put those numbers together. All in all, in something like this, I would estimate, I don't see a roof issue. The biggest issue in here is going to be this flooring. These walls, you do need a few pieces of sheetrock, which that's half the price of lumber. So you can kind of imagine on that. Or you can go with particle, something like what was in here. Obviously, you won't have the same type of wall cover, but forget that. You paint over that anyway. These type of walls, we typically prime them, kills, prime them, and paint over them. I don't like these designs. I think they're very 60s, 70s, 80s like. Again, preference, that's what I'm talking right now. So, we're not talking anything specific. You change that or don't, that's up to you. And here it would be. Now, again, what did I say about the numbers? If I can get this mobile home for, let's say, 4,000 or 5,000, okay, and I can turn around and sell it because the market allows for after repair value for 20,000 to 25,000, which this mobile home happens to be $22,000. If I can get this mobile home for 5,000 and I can come in and estimate $3,000 worth of work plus utilities, holding, insurance, etc., I am now around 9,000. Would that be a good deal for you to say yes, based not only on the mobile home and all the rehab that's required, that's needed, but also on the numbers that allows me for my ROI, return on my investments? This mobile home checks out. That's up to you. No deal is the same. No investment is the same. That is up to you. But to me, absolutely, this is exactly what you want to have. We're not even halfway into it. And because of the market numbers going up right now, I would say you're probably closer to 25,000 for something like this. So to say you have less than half of it into it, that's a good deal. But again, I'll let you decipher on that. And that, it goes back to numbers. But always look at the mobile homes, look at the markets, look at the numbers. And if it checks out, it's up to you at that point. Obviously, also another thing I do want to point out is many times you can get mobile homes for free. I know a lot of investors out there, a lot of park owners, a lot of park managers may say, come in, I have two mobile homes, they are distressed. You can just have them, but you start paying lot rent. That's fine and all. But a lot of times when you have something like that, it's, you get what you pay for to a certain extent. And if it's something that's free, you could be talking about 10, 15,000 for it to be rehab. So obviously that would not be a good deal. Not to mention, also, I want to know how long would it take my contractors? If I bring them into this mobile home and get them on this flooring immediately, I see a week, tops 7 days. That's from start to finish. I mean, they come in and not just the flooring, but this home will be complete and ready for the market in about 6, 7 days. So that's another thing. If it's another mobile home that may be free, but you're talking about 2 months worth of rehab, that could add on to the utility, the insuring, the holding, all those things start adding up. Be strategic. All right. Announcement. Let me get into this, and 30 minutes went by fast. Let me answer a couple of these questions, and then I'll get into that. Can you Airbnb mobile homes? Absolutely. Yes, we do it all the time. As a matter of fact, we have about 4 campers lined up, and we're going to be Airbnb campers as well. So stay tuned for those. Any mobile homes or parks near Atlanta? Reese, yes, the ones we have under contract are in Dublin, Georgia. So send me an email. I posted it on there, and you can connect directly. How can you find the actual ARV of a home? I'm looking for a double wide in Marietta, but not enough inventory. Wow. First of all, I'm glad to have people from Georgia. Most people that join me on Instagram are from California, New York, San Diego, and it's great. I love all of y'all joining, but I love to see Atlanta and Marietta because I actually know where that's at. So, how can you find the actual ARV after repair value? Key is always park management. If you, and even if the mobile home is not in a community park, if it's nearby, what I would do is I would Google mobile home parks nearby, and I would call them and ask them, what is a 3-bedroom, 4-bedroom, 2 or 3 bath double wide selling for move-in ready in your park? That's a good way to get an idea. So if it has land, that's something different. But send me an email on that. I'll be happy to look into it a little bit more and obviously see if I can help you out. Okay. Not enough inventory to show. Yeah. Okay. Because it's not something you can log into Zillow, Trulia, FMLS. If they are on there, I wouldn't trust them. It's not something. All right. So basically, what I've shown y'all on here tonight is a quick, very, very fast-paced breakdown. Hopefully, some of y'all got it. The call is recorded, so it will be on our social media, YouTube, first thing in the morning. Next Saturday morning, we have the one-day shadow event, where I take you with me by my side, and we go out and review mobile home parks. We're going to review mobile homes in and out. We're going to have handyman, contractors, park managers, and park owners with us as well. This is the one event you cannot miss if you're trying to learn all the steps. Learning how to estimate MAO, maximum allowed offer, is only one strategy. How about finding deals? How about talking to sellers? How to negotiate? How to do closings, documents? What about titles? If it has land as your deed, right? Exit strategies. We talk about rentals, rent-to-owns, lease options. There's Airbnbs, Sections 8s, elderly housings, transportation. I mean, the list is endless. And this is why I love mobile homes. So many exit strategies. To me, it just means multiple streams of passive income. Who doesn't like that? That's what we teach you out there. When we take you out there, we show you step by step. And don't forget, at the community where we're going to be, there are deals available. So it is likely that you can say, let me go ahead and invest in this one. We've had many shadow events where that's happened. And it works great because we're able to close out the documents on the spot and obviously use it as educational purposes as well. So, a lot of stuff is happening. Yes, the shadow is next Saturday. Visit GarciaMHU.com. I'll put the link on the comments on the Instagram as well, but I don't know if it works like you can click on it. So hopefully it does. I'm not sure on that. But if you go to GarciaMHU.com, click on the events and click on shadow event next Saturday. Hope to see you there. 8 in the morning. It's one day only. I know it was 2 days, but one day, take the discipline and be there. Yeah, I assure you, it will benefit you. So that being said, that is all I have for this evening. 2 more coachings ahead. Stay tuned for Tuesday as well. Tuesday, 7 p.m. We'll be pitching deals right back here again. Thank you for watching.